no scopes, multi-kills, and a pirated copy of Sony Vegas. These were the ingredients chosen to create that perfect little montage. But gamers accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction: Linkin Park. Video game montages are one of the most interesting forms of media to come out of the last few decades. They merged music, talented gamers, and creative editing to show off some incredible plays and feats in gaming. Dropping a definitive montage was like an artist finishing their magnum opus. These were the crowning achievements after spending so many hours honing their craft. In order to better understand montages and the culture that surrounded it, we've got to go back to where it all started. Some of the earliest gaming montages out there on the internet were for games like Quake, Unreal Tournament, and Counter-Strike. PC games were easier to record gameplay footage on than consoles, so the technology dictated the art at that time. A lot of these early videos and montages were called frag movies. Kills were sometimes called frags back in the late 90s and early 2000s. The exact reason isn't 100% agreed upon, but people use the term frags because when you'd eliminate opponents in some of these games, they'd be turned into bloody little fragments. Some people also think that it's because the word frag derives from fragmentation grenade, which was used to kill players.
Fire in the hole!
Most of these frag movies were a collection of the best clips from pro or high-level players at this time. Sometimes they'd be exclusively from one player, but more often than not, these frag movies would showcase clips from multiple players. The visual fidelity wasn't great, and they usually have minimal editing with loud rock or electronic music played over top. There wasn't any real standard, and people were just experimenting and trying out editing software for the first time. The internet was still developing, so there wasn't a lot of available content out there to watch, or tutorials to learn how to edit if you did want to make a montage. In terms of gaming content, montages were the most viewed videos and were quickly becoming the thing. Montages were posted on a variety of sites and services like Game Trailers, rest in peace, Dailymotion, Vimeo, and Google Video. It took a few years for YouTube to catch on, but it quickly became the definitive video posting website. At the same time, another side of gaming was quickly taking over and would soon lead to a giant influx of new montages. Halo 2 was one of the first multiplayer console games to gain real traction and push montages forward. The game allowed for better players to shine and find competitive advantages over more casual players. Special button combinations like the BXR or double shot allowed for skilled players to defeat multiple opponents at the same time. This opened the door for a lot of outplay potential in some of these clips. Creators also didn't need to record their TVs with a camera to get clips anymore. They were able to record native footage thanks to new technology. Videos that were direct gameplay quickly became the new standard, and anything else was seen as lower quality. I also discovered and grew to love bands like Linkin Park, System of a Down, and Rage Against the Machine through some of these montages. Halo 3 only helped further bless the montage community with its new feature, Theater Mode. Theater Mode allowed for more cinematic angles and creative choices for montages by being able to go and move the camera around to any position you wanted. Standard quality and HD capture cards from Dazzle were also becoming more popular around this time. Everything was just getting better and better, and the montages really started to look much more professional. Creators also started to dabble in 3D graphics and utilize additional post-processing effects for montages. Another cool highlight of this time period was an online partnership between MLG and ESPN. This partnership put out a series showing the top 10 clips of Halo 3. Chris Puckett, who was a shoutcaster for MLG, did the voiceovers to add some much needed charm to the series.
Now moving in for the assassination, but no! This is Legends play at number 9. Check out the reaction time spinning the beatdown.
It was really fun to watch as some of the episodes featured insane once-of-a-lifetime clips from random players who weren't even pro level. Just wacky events that you wouldn't believe if theater mode didn't exist. And even if fans didn't have direct footage captured, they could still submit their clips. The community was spreading so much knowledge so fast that would have never seen the light of day previously. There were so many grenade setups, precise jumps, and wall bounce spots I just never knew about before these videos. At the same time Halo was seeing a fresh wave of content and amazing highlight reels, another game series was starting to flourish that would take things to a whole other level. While the first Modern Warfare was certainly great and had some amazing montages, it's absolutely impossible to discuss video game montages without talking about Modern Warfare 2 and the sniping clans that revolved around it. This game single-handedly did more for montage culture than quite literally any other game before or after it. One of the biggest reasons for this content renaissance was FaZe Clan. Like him or hate him, it's just the way it is. FaZe was absolutely iconic for its time. FaZe were known as being the best of the best, an elite group of high schoolers who were at the pinnacle of an emerging trend called trickshotting. The idea of a trickshot is pretty simple. It's to style on your opponent. Multi-kill clips, or kill feeds as they're known in the COD community, were still an important part of montages, but trick shots were where the real innovation and creativity was happening. There just wasn't another game quite like MW2 that provided so much opportunity for player expression. One of FaZe's more popular series at the time was known as ILCams. It's a play on words based on MW2's death mechanic called a kill cam. What made Modern Warfare 2 so great was the final kill cam of a match would be shown to the whole lobby in slow motion. FaZe was on the cutting edge of hitting the craziest final kill cams at the time. They'd also feature gamers from other rival clans too, in order to ensure that the best of the best were shown to the whole world. Modern Warfare 2 as a game was just made for trickshotting and montages. The slow-mo cam at the end of a match was just perfect. It's like the game was already doing you a favor in the video editing process by adding the slow-mo for you. The other beauty of Modern Warfare 2, which I feel like is a bit overlooked, was that it was on console. You see, a lot of trick shots rely on spinning to add further difficulty and variation, and when you play on a controller, you're able to maintain a constant spin speed, unlike if you tried to use a mouse where it'd be all jerky and in one motion. And the beauty of trick shots is when you did land one, the entire lobby would just pop off, even the enemy team.
Somebody down there.
In Search and Destroy back in the day, party chat wasn't available, so all players would actually need to be in game chat in order to talk. This added a lot more community interaction that's been lost since then. This is also the era for montages that saw a big transition in the music being used.
I am literally in the air right now, wrapping up a store. This first class, I am so new at this.
Hip-hop and rap were becoming a lot more ingrained in gaming culture. The ILCam series, for example, featured emerging artists such as Logic and Hoodie Allen. Both the budding artists and FaZe were actually helping build each other up in these crossovers. I used to listen to rock pretty much exclusively until I was about 16 or 17, but by being introduced to these artists through some of my favorite creators, this helped me to be a lot more open to a new side of music that I would soon come to love. Trickshotting overall saw a golden age of innovation that parallels skateboarding. Let me explain. You see, in skate culture, it's not about beating other people or even being the best. It's about trying new tricks and seeking inspiration from other skaters, and you cheer on your fellow skaters as they work to land tricks that they've been struggling with.
What you think?
Oh! No way! Banks in a shot!
Did Ricky J
The best! Banks in a shot! Oh my god!
When you watch videos, you might see a skater do a trick on an obstacle that inspires you to try something new on that same spot, or take that trick and try it somewhere completely new. In trickshotting, you can see the same type of innovation and creativity as players push the limits of what was possible. You would see what one player did, and then you'd try to put your own creative spin on it. What started off as a simple 360 no-scope soon developed into a 360 no-scope jumping off of a ladder, which then led to further innovation like weapon swapping, scope cancels, or reloading after the shot for further style points. New spots and setups were constantly discovered, leading gamers to try hitting world first for certain clips. Even outside of the game, further innovation was happening. Better recording technology like the HD PVR came out during Modern Warfare 2's lifespan, which further improved montage video quality. Montages started to transition from 720p to 1080p. Dedicated video editors were being contracted to edit some of these montages. This further pushed the level of quality and artistic vision of the sniping scene. Just a quick intermission and honorable mention real quick. In 2010, the legendary B-Hop montage by Phoon dropped, and I have to talk about it real quick. Phoon showed off the limits of what was possible by absolutely breaking Counter-Strike Source's movement. If you can pick only one montage from this whole video to go back and watch, please go check out this one. What makes this montage so fun is seeing just the sheer speed of B-hopping in the Source engine. Phoon was able to reach spots faster than regular players to completely surprise his opponents and embarrass them.
Oh my god. This guy's just getting back sight.
Players accused Phoon of using scripts because his B-hops were just so consistent and clean. But the overwhelming majority of high-level and pro players said he wasn't cheating and was actually legit. Also, he was playing on special community servers with better cheat detection than Valve's own matchmaking, so this seems unlikely. Anyways, let's get back to our regular scheduled programming. And then in 2012, Black Ops 2 was released, which added a whole new playground of opportunities for COD montages and trick shotting. Even the campaign had a mini montage moment built into one of the levels for players to enjoy. In the club level, a slow-motion John Wick-style shootout sequence occurs, with a remixed version of Try It Out by Skrillex blasting in the background.
Let's go, the main doors are out!
Whichever devs pitched this idea, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And as for the multiplayer, the clips just kept getting even more insane.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
The limits of human reactions and dexterity were constantly being challenged. And the Illcam series was still going strong with more than 40 episodes uploaded. Fans just couldn't get enough, with some videos reaching more than 1 million views. That might not sound like a lot now, but that was a big deal for the time. It was very rare for channels to have over 1 million subscribers, let alone a video breaking 1 million views. Trickshotting and COD were bigger and better than ever. But in a different corner of the internet, something else was developing that completely changed the landscape of montages forever. It wasn't even a new game, it was memes. On December 23rd, 2011, an iconic video dropped that changed montages forever. A YouTube channel by the name of MotDef posted a video which quickly garnered the nickname MLG Train Simulator.
Let's rate it.
It was an over-the-top train simulator montage parodying montages and how tryhard they appeared to be. People were then inspired and started making their own montage memes. Montage parodies quickly spread around YouTube, and videos featuring Club Penguin and Pengu became the new hotness. Explaining all this now feels really ridiculous, but this was what was happening on the internet in 2014. These parody videos and montages became so popular that a game was created based on them. This game exploded after popular creators such as PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, and Markiplier started making videos of themselves playing it. You were able to play a game with real-time MLG parody effects popping in and out, mixed with some loud dubstep, explosions, Doritos, and Mountain Dew. Honestly, it's one of the most insane gaming experiences still to this day. As funny as it was, it quickly became old and overdone. So let's get back to montages and leave the world of memes behind for a little bit.
If we make it through, we gon' walk it up right. Watch it how we move it, we gon' make it alright.
Around 2014, Call of Duty content creators started changing the format of their videos. Cut commentaries, as they were called, where creators would edit videos of them playing games while just talking or sharing stories, was quickly becoming the new norm. And 2 years later, vlogs and lifestyle content replaced much of the FaZe identity. The content was getting more views by their demographic, and I also think that some of the COD guys were just starting to get tired of grinding all day just to maybe hit a single clip for future videos. You see, these clips are really hard to get. The level of clips needed to have a quality montage was starting to reach a near impossible standard. Multi-kill sprees needed to have uninterrupted kill feeds, which meant no one else could get a kill in the whole lobby during your clip, or the names wouldn't be stacked and they wouldn't be as aesthetically pleasing. And the clips worth actual praise had some totally wacko setups. The number of montages were starting to decrease and were coming out at a slower rate. Many of the original iconic FaZe members weren't even featured in later group montages. They just didn't have clips that were up to the level and standard that fans expected. The gap between Illcam's 49 and 50 was over 3 years long, when typically they were posted only a couple months apart. Outside of just FaZe and the Call of Duty community, the increasing popularity of streaming on Twitch gave rise to a new breed of content creators. MOBAs like League of Legends and other new games were starting to take over. CSGO started to gain some real traction by late 2015 and saw a huge wave of content and montages. CSGO saw some real innovation with montage makers going absolutely nuts with After Effects and other lighting and editing software. Some of these montages are unreal, and I still go back to watch them every once in a while. Go watch Clockwork 4. That is one of the most impressive montages of all time, It's like you're not even looking at CSGO anymore. This came out 7 years ago, and I still don't know if there's another montage that from a visual standpoint can even compete with this. And it's no wonder that CSGO saw so many incredible montages. It's been basically the #1 game on Steam for nearly a decade after its launch. With so many players in competition, the chances of showing off insane clips increases. CSGO creators were also able to commission the occasional montage here and there due to how much money they were pulling in at the time. They became these passion projects that they could hire out on the side. They could front the bill in order to put out this level of art. Montages may not be as important as they used to be, but they're still around. And there's still creators and teams who put out montages just for the sake of creating something special, even at a net loss. Creators for Fortnite, Apex, Overwatch, Valorant, and other games are still continuing the long-standing gaming tradition of editing their best clips set to a banger track in order to show the world their skills. And for what it's worth, I'm glad I grew up at a time where I could see the evolution of montages firsthand. Thank you all so much for watching till the end of the video, and until next time, have a good one.
It's over. Make a spot to wind down, break it off right now and get closer.